Hey buddy, John Planet Tech here, and today we're going to be going over Submarine Happy Dive. So I kind of decided on the level selector. The first one's going to be the underwater game, and then the second one's going to be that alien, whatever, where you have to dodge missiles and everything. So it's more along the lines of we have multiple games inside of one. I know some people kind of really like that, so I decided to do that. Also, it allows us to put more content into it. People feel that they got more out of it. Now, there's several ways to actually do a infinite runner. Or you can do it. Well, you can have one in 3D. You can have one in 2D on the sides where you have to dodge stuff. And we're actually going to be doing that, but we also will be doing one to where you are actually top down. So in this case, you have stuff headed for you, and it's simulating you actually running, but you're not actually running, you are just basically dodging all of this stuff that is coming for you. So what we're actually going to be doing is this will be the level, water level. So we're actually going to put on all the code in this episode. So we have our event sheet, and it's going to say, let's see, that's missions. So when we click that, so we're going to need to import some stuff. So we're going to click right, insert a new object. And we're going to be looking for a mouse. And we're actually going to be needing a keyboard, since this is going to be a web-based game. So we can remove that stuff since we don't need it right now. All we need is the main menu. So on click or mouse, on any click, on object clicked, we're actually going to be clicking on missions, and that is going to send us to a new scene. Go to layout, the level selector, and then that one's called the shop. So that one is actually going to be, we're just going to clone this right here. And it's going to be left click on something, the shop. And then it's going to just tell us, you have to go to the shop. Okay, so we click on these, and we're going to go to the next scene, which is make sure that we actually go to this, the NWJS, so that we can pop open a little text box here and not open up Google Chrome or anything like that. Now you want to do that at the end, or in the as you are creating it, so that you actually know it runs really well in a web app, in a Internet Explorer or something like that. So we also want to have these do the same thing, just in case somebody's playing with it on their touch phone, their smart device. We had Sprite 13. Now that would be for missions. So we actually can go to shop. We don't want that's so sometimes when you clone these, they aren't. So that's shop, and so when I go to shop, all we have to do is change that one. So that one's going to be 27. There we go, Sprite 27. And then level selector, that's going to be the other one, Sprite 13. Boom. So we have level selector and shop, so if we click on one of these, they're literally just going to tell us the same thing. So that'd be missions, okay. So that's kind of it for this. There's nothing else. We could put like a mute the music or something like that. Insert new object, sprite. There we go. We can have these in the game. You can just tap those icons, and later we'll just make them like classic on and off icons. We can deal with that a little bit later. That's basically going to be, you can have them set as in a sprite family class. Similar to animations, where you're going to have that as 1, that is 0. So when you tap this, when on this sprite, we're going to set it to be equal 1. So when you tap the actual sound button, it means that you want to mute it. It will then equal 0. So actually we could do that. I don't have actually music actually put in the game yet, but we can set something up right now. Okay, so that's going to be sound equals 0, so that means automatically on mute. And then what we actually want to do is set up the sprite family. So I'll just delete that and set it on always mute. And then we want to add an animation frame. And then import the sound icon. So this now has 2 sprites. So when you tap on it, or you click on it, it's going to on clicked object. Let's see, sprite 31. Okay. And what we actually want to do is, okay, hold on start. So we want it already to load up the variable. So it already knows, oh, this equals that. So when he taps it, it will now equal this. So on start of layout, the variable, set variable sound equals 0. Okay, so on left click, okay, so on left click button, blah blah blah, we're going to now add, we're going to add 1 sound, and then we're going to change the sprite, and we're going to set frame to 1, done. Okay. And then we want to say if compare variable, if sound is equal to 1, then we need to play some sort of sound, but we don't have anything, so at this point it would be now to mute it, so it would be to on object click. And we also need to say on object click set sprite 31. Okay, hold on 1 second. We can also do this on sprite clicked 31. You can also say another condition that you want to make sure that it's on a certain frame. Okay, so we are actually compare instance variable. Yeah. Compare variable. Sound is equal to 0. Okay, so actually that would be for this one. Okay, so I'm going to explain this real quick. So when we click on the mute button, so it's on default mute, we want to make sure that sound is equal to 0. So that tag or that variable 0 is linked, or that sound variable 0 is linked to the icon, it being muted. Okay, the mute icon. When we tap that, we're going to add 1 to sound and set animation frame to 1. So when sound equals 0, set sound to 0. That basically we're going to set a variable saying, hey, when sound is 0, blah, 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 yeah, this is on start, sound equals 0, set sound to 0. And now we need to create a variable saying, hey, if it is 1, then we need to actually play the music. So sound equals 1, play music. So on start of on left button clicked. So when we click this icon again, what we're going to do is we're going to clone that, and we're going to drag drop it into here. So when it equals 1, what we're actually going to do is subtract it. So subtract 1, and then set animation from 1 to 0. Boom. And then we need to say mute music. So that's how you can create a create sound or play music and mute music or stop the music. Later on, I'll actually, in the next episode when we actually do the game, I'll quickly put in the music so we can actually listen to it and play around with it. Okay, but this is a very simple, hey, we're going to be creating this simple game, everything. So let's get back to the level selector. So we have our menu basically done, and we still need to do the little micro shop. So these are the missions. We actually need to insert some text. So the text is going to be water level. I was at 24. I'll make that a little bit bigger. I do actually want it to be kind of big. Here we go, water level, and we'll make the icon. That kind of hurts my eyes. Something like that. We'll probably play around with it later, and then we're gonna insert another one. Now you can do a text box, but I just prefer straight up text. See, that's literally just clone it here. Actually, that was 48. And then we want to say space level. And I'll probably think of a top-down version of both of these for this episode, or this level. Let me make that a little bit bigger. There we go, space level. Okay. And then we want to insert a text box actually right over here. And these are actually going to be our scores, so we won't exactly touch these in this episode. It's going to be in the next episode where when we reference, hey, your score overall in that level is going to be, well, you got 200 out of so many thousand points. So it's going to be, so, score. And we can play around with the text on this one so that you can see it. Okay, so we'll do that. So when you select this, we're going to hit the level 1. We're not going to create a level 1 or the water level in this episode. That's going to be in the next one, where we're going to create the water level and the space game, code them, and then test them out. Okay, so it's going to be water level. Okay, so when we click water level, we're going to go into the next episode. So let's see. Event sheet 2. See, that's going to be sprite what? That's going to be sprite 10. So when you click on sprite 10, on object clicked, let's do 10. There we go, sprite 10. We're going to go to a new scene. Let's go to layout, water level. Okay, what we also probably need to do is add a back button so we can go back to the menu. Let's see if they have one. Text GUI, backgrounds. Let's see. UI. No, nothing. Okay, we can probably get away with just using one of the GUI icons. Yeah, that will just represent us going back to the menu. So we can just click on that. So on mouse, on object clicked, we're going to go to previous menu. Okay, on object clicked, yeah, it was object 32? Yes, okay. What do we want to do? We want to go back to the previous menu. Go to layout. And it says main menu. There we go. Okay, what we also, actually when you click on that, you're actually supposed to go to here. Well, here's how we can do this. We can have it to where we can go to your shop. So you click the game, I want to go to this level, and then you go to your shop, and you select your ship, and then you go to it. Or what you can do is you actually go straight to that level, and an icon will pop up saying, what do you want your ship to be? Kind of the same thing, but different ways of how to do it. I'm going to say just go straight to the shop, and then go to the level. However, I think I'll end up doing both so that you guys can have more ways of, well, you'll understand how to do both ways so that you can put them inside of your game. So we're going to go straight to shop. We're pretty much done at this particular moment with this, where we just want to click on it or go back to menu. We don't need to actually do anything right here because we don't have those yet. And then when we start creating those levels, I'll create the code for this and then that. So the water level we don't need, level selector we don't need at this moment, event sheet for that we don't need. But we do need the shop up, and that references sprite event sheet 3. So we do need that. So at this moment, we need to say big X icon, which we do not have. But what we can do, oh, there's our quit icon, we can use that, is a coin icon stating we need more. Okay, so that one uses a red outline. So I'll use the blue one, and it will have one inside the game saying how much actually you have. So this will only appear if, over your ship if you need, when you need more money. So at this point, you only have 1,000 coins. Okay, we actually need to program that into the system. So add event, we need to add a variable called money. Starts at 1,000 coins. Boom. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, we're good. So we need to constantly reference that. And we also need to keep changing the text event. So when we click, okay, so we need to set up an event on each of the things that we can and cannot buy to say if we're actually going to be able to. So if I try to click on object clicked, the yellow sub. I think there's a Beatles song called a Yellow Submarine. If we try to click on this, it's going to say, whoa, hold on there. We need to make sure that you have enough coins. So we're actually going to put in another condition saying we're going to compare variables. If money is equal to 1,000 coins, then you can buy it. Okay? Then what we need to do is add in another variable called ship selector. Or player selection, something like that. Initial value is equals 0. So we actually need to say, hey, it's going to be changed to 1. Boom. Okay, so on left click, blah blah blah, you have to have 1,000. And if you do, the player selection is going to be number 1. That means in the actual game, it's going to reference your ship as 1. So the yellow sub is going to be referenced as number 1, so that we can import it into the actual level. Now this is what you're also going to do for ship 2. Is it that one? I think it's that one. Go to shop. Yeah, it's that one. Okay. But for this one, you're going to need 5,000 coins. So you actually need to collect 5,000 coins. And at that point, we're actually going to call this one number 2. Done. And this one's going to be worth 10,000 coins. Yeah, it better be worth 10,000 coins. But that's how we're going to deal with more stuff in the shop. Or actually in-game shop, to where you can buy temporary shields, torpedo stuff, so that you can defend yourself against, we say, squid or enemies that are going to attack you. So these are over your ship, meaning that you can't buy them. Actually, we can set these invisible, and they'll appear as like else conditions. So what that means is edit. Okay. Add. Okay, it says we can't do that. But what we can do is add an event saying okay. I'm going to copy that. Now this gets kind of haywire-ish, but it does work. Saying, okay, if it doesn't have that, if money is less than 5,000, we're going to make a coin visible. Now I need a name of this coin, and it's called Sprite 34. So on action of that, we need Sprite 34 coin to become visible. Set visible. Yes. Done. Okay, so we actually need to set that as invisible. Okay, so that'd be something we need to set in the code on start set invisible. Okay, on start. Now you could do opacity, which would be a whole lot easier. But if you want to do stuff like straight on the narrow, or complete on start, then you kind of do something like this. Okay, on start of layout, we need to make sure that this is set invisible. So that's invisible, and then when you try to click on it, nope, you can't do that. Okay. And then we need to set that text. Okay, so this text box is just called text. Now I'm going to call it money, store money. Just so that we can see it. Okay, so we need to always reference that. Okay, store money, blah, 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 blah. Hold on 1 second. Okay, on start of layout. Now, if you want to like minimize your code and everything, you can. If you're gonna have, if you map this out to where you're gonna have a bunch of on start of layout, like actually we can do that right there. You can just link them all right there. So you can just have them all on the start of this one. Start money. It's gonna set text to what was it? Store money. Or you could do just plain old money. I think we're supposed to reference that one. Let's see. So if I change this actually to straight on 0, we should have 1,000 now. Oh no, it's just referencing store money. That's because I told it to do that. Actually, we need to reference straight old money. Variable money. No, not debug. We want to run the layout. So at this point, it should say 1,000. There we go, 1,000. So it is referencing it. Okay, so what am I doing? On left click of the yellow sub, we must have 1,000 coins to even buy it. So once we buy it, we own it. It's going to change this player selection of our player selection. So it's going to change our ship. Now you can also do this for player selection of choosing different characters and say a top-down RPG player, whatever. You can do this whole thing. And in some cases, you could actually just drag an else do this, blah, blah, blah. Or what you can do is what I do with this green one. On left click of Sprite 23, the green sub, you must have 5,000 gold coins. Change the player selection to number 2. So it's literally just going to replace you. But if you don't on left click, but if you left click it and you don't have 5,000 gold coin, we're going to set that as visible and we're going to say, sorry, you cannot buy this ship. Please use the beautiful yellow one until you have enough money to buy this gorgeous green one. And it's going to do the same thing with the family size sedan luxury class orange ship. So there we go. So what we also want to do is set text to money. Buy. Once you do that, you're actually going to be out of 5,000 coins. So actually set that there, and we're actually going to subtract from money 1,000 coins. So you're going to be out of 1,000 coins. When we play this scene, and you click on that yellow ship, let's see. When you click on it, money equals 1,000. Set player selection to 1. So we need to text subtract. Okay, it's right 22, and you have 1,000. So that's, yeah, that's 1,000. Done. Global number, blah blah blah. So yeah, subtract 1,000 from money. There we go. You just had to align them in the right mode. So, boom. Okay, so when that is done, you can either, I'm going to have it set to play the game automatically, and you'll load up the new scene, and you'll see your little ship or your submarine, an animated scene to where you actually float out into the little game, and then you'll start dodging stuff and going up and down and all that stuff. Alright, so the rest of it, we can actually just clone from this. And then just change that to 5,000. Set text to money. Boom. And do that to that. And that one's going to be 10,000 gold coins. So now that we have that done, actually, we don't need that for that. Oops. We can just drag that down to there. Now we're good. Okay. So what you can do is clone that. Boom. Boom. And what you want to do is set the other coin visible. So the other coin is, okay, that's 34. That's 34. So we need to actually import another coin, or we need to just clone it. So that's 34. I wish we had a little search icon up here. That would be pretty cool. It would save me a bunch of time. It's right 34. Especially when you have stuff. But you could also just, I think you can create subfolders. Yeah, you can add a subfolder. So we gold coins and everything. So that's probably something that I'm going to do and then show you guys in the next episode. So we have sprite 35. So set visible, sprite 35. Player selection, we can delete that. And just select, we can put type of 35. We're at not 45, we want 35. Select that, and we want this to be visible, very visible, if we have the money. So if we do not have 10,000 gold coins, so if we're less than, we are not able to use this ship. Okay, so we need to actually drag that into there. What was that? That's okay. That's just an invisible object. So that's 34 and 35. So what we need to do is set 35 as an invisible object. So be invisible. Okay. So let's see if this works. Okay, I'll start with blah blah blah. If you do not have 10,000, that's going to be set visible. So it's fairly simple coding. Okay, they're invisible. That's it visible. That's it visible. And we now have just bought a ship. But say we want to actually go back to the main menu. Or, you know, a previous menu. We can set that right there. And when we click on it, it's going to actually show us the previous menu. And when we click that previous menus, preview, whatever button, it's going to tell us, oh, okay, you want to go back to the main menu. On object clicked, we want to do sprite 36. Done. Make sure we have, yeah, it's 36. We're going to go into a previous scene, go to layout, and that one's going to be the level selector. So we can now play this game so we can run the layout. And we're going to go previous scene, we are now here. And okay, so that does partially work. Let's see what's wrong with that. So we're actually going to go shoot some level stuff. So level selector. Shop works for the most part. We're gonna do that. Okay. Oh, did we? Yeah, that was in the main menu. So on the left button, clicked sprite 31. Let's see, system, it has to equal 0. Add 1, set animation frame to 1. Sound equals on starts at system 0. One on left click 31, it has to equal 1, set animation frame to 0, subtract 1 from sound. So let's see, that animation is going to be, oh, hold on, wait, that's the wrong one. We need to pull up main menu. So it is what, 0 and 1. So why isn't that doing what it's supposed to be doing? Okay, see. I think I have a code messing around with another code. Delete that one. Okay. Do I want these animated? Loop, no. Speed. Oh, there we go. 0. Ping pong, repeat count, 0. I do not want these animated. Now what you could do is just overlay them, so where you can click one and it actually just will set it invisible or move it off the screen, and we'll probably play around with that idea in the next episode. I like giving you guys a ton of stuff to play with. So I need to click on that. So on left click, sound equals 0, add 1 to sound, set frame to frame 1. On left click, icon, set frame 3, 1, and sound equals 1, subtract 1 from sound. See, that actually should technically work. Because we are setting the frame, we are changing. Set animation frame, go back. Set animation. Okay, that's changing the animation. Well, okay, there's something we could do, so that's okay. As this episode's getting kind of on the longer side, I'm gonna end it here, and then in the next episode, we're gonna fix our sound system, and then move into the actual game creation. Sorry about the sound system. I've been playing around with this, and I got it working on one test game. I thought I could implement it here. Normally, what I do is I just have a icons, switching icons, so they'll either be bring one to front, bring one to back. So they'll switch, literally it's like taking two sheets and switching their positions, so one's in front, one's in back, and then you just switch them depending on, so if I click the exit button, or the no sound button, or the mute button, it will then mute, it will then go behind the sound button on, the sound on button, and when you tap that on button, it will then go to mute. So that's what actually we're going to implement in the next episode. Remember to like and subscribe. Comment down below on what you want to see further, as you know, further on for the series, Construct 2 series. I would like to do some sort of like take 2D games and show you how they're being made, like a deconstruction series. So that's something pretty cool. Also, I'm doing a Copper Cube 3D game series. If you want to learn some, even if you don't get the engine, on some ways on how 3D games are made in that specific sense, how we can deal with 3D stuff, modeling, animation, all that stuff, please check out that series. So until next time, guys, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.